Hello, guys. Welcome to Movie Mania. I'm your host, Philip, and today I'm being joined by my good friend Shay. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you? Dunk. Don't forget Dunk.
Dunk.
Basketball.
Michael Jordan style.
Michael Jordan style.
Damn straight. Damn straight. And today, guys, we are here to talk about one of the best slasher films of all time, the 1978 John Carpenter classic, Halloween.
Were you born?
I was not born in 1978. I was born in 1990.
So you missed all the good originals.
Don't worry, dude. I got them all on DVD.
I know you do. Look behind us, people. Look at all these.
Damn straight. So the film came out in 1978. It became a classic. But before we get into the film, time for a little brief history. Shay, how were you introduced to this film and the franchise?
Growing up as a young kid, I was always just fascinated by horror movies. It's one of the first ones that I saw, and even today, I think Michael Myers. I'd have to go Michael Myers, Leatherface as my two top guys. I mean, I just love everything that Michael Myers represents.
Well, I got one of them on the shirt, and Leatherface is on a different shirt.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, it was just Michael Myers was the man that you couldn't kill. He just kept coming and coming. And the thing to me is that even in the early movies, not a lot of blood, not a lot of really graphic, nasty.
No blood in this film.
Killing scenes, but there was just something about Michael Myers, the boogeyman, that just absolutely terrified me. He never ran. There was never any panic. He was just calm, cool, and he just killed. And that, to me, to this day, I think that's his character over time. We can discuss at another time the movies and how people didn't like him or did like him or whatever. But over time, Michael Myers never changed. And a lot of things changed over time. From that first movie until we are today, 2023. But he certainly wasn't one of them. And, that's what I always loved about him.
Well, he always walked slow, but he always somehow conveniently got right where he had to be when it came time to killing folks.
Right. He was the slasher. He was the original OG. To me, he's the original OG.
Damn
I don't know if there'll be anybody that ever
top him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just
maybe
the mask.
I don't think so.
The way he put fear into people.
I don't think he's going to be topped.
And he couldn't kill Jamie Lee Curtis.
He did in one of the sequels.
Oh, well, whatever.
Which I have not seen, but I saw that clip. I was like, no. But I got into horror films when I was 18. I watched Silence of the Lambs, and that blew me away. And a year later, around Christmas time, I got this from the library, and I watched it. A year later, bought it for $7.50 at Walmart.
And you got a hell of a deal.
Darn straight.
Is Silence of the Lambs really a horror movie? Just not to interrupt. But
I think it is.
Okay.
We can debate that some other time.
Right.
But yeah, I saw the film, and as far as slasher films go, that little part of the horror genre, that's the best one as far as I'm concerned. These guys here are cool, but they're not this guy.
No. And what about Dr. Loomis? How great was he?
Played by the great Donald Pleasence, may he rest in peace. The story, of course, is about Michael Myers, who as a young boy kills his older sister while she's having sex, and he is locked away in a mental institution, and only for him to escape when he becomes an adult, and he starts to wreak havoc, killing teenagers, and fights Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays Laurie Strode, who is one of the best female icons ever when it comes to the horror world, and in my opinion, film in general. She's one of the goats. And what do you think of Miss Curtis, who is the daughter of Janet Leigh, who was in Psycho in 1960?
And I also think she made an appearance in H2O, correct? Halloween H2O.
Jamie Lee?
Janet, the mother. Didn't she? I believe so.
I don't know. I only saw it once.
Okay, well,
but
I think she was the old lady. I believe so. But anyway, I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was perfect for the job. I don't think they could have picked anybody else. She embraced that role.
and that was her debut film.
Right. She embraced that role like nobody else could and ran with it.
Oh, yeah.
Just the way that she, just the way that she took it and ran with it.
Damn straight.
She was. I just thought she was perfect for it.
Yep.
The way that she lived out the role, the way it became a part of her life, and it just became something that she mastered. I don't think they could have done a better job picking a person to play that role.
She could not escape the role, and she kept doing slasher films for a while there until I believe 1983 when she did Trading Places up there.
Right.
Which I think that's when she showed that she can do more than just be the Scream Queen, which is good. But yeah, and but what do you think of the great Donald Pleasance as Loomis?
Yeah, I don't think they could have picked anybody else. An old man. People thought he was crazy, and he stuck to his guns. And I mean, he knew right away. And the thing about it is, in the movies, obviously it's fake, but he did a great job of in the movie making people think. Secondly, about what was really going on. He warned people, and he warned people, and he warned people, and he warned people, and he tried to prepare them for what was coming.
And they didn't care.
No, they didn't care.
Cost them.
Yeah, right. No, the sheriff's daughter, was it Brackett? Lee Brackett? I think it was the sheriff's daughter, and was one of the victims in the first movie. And yeah, he tried to warn people, and they didn't want anything to do with it. So I thought he was great, and it became almost to where it was like his life. He became
because he kept
consumed
coming back for the sequels,
right?
And it's because he was good in that role.
Yeah, no, it consumed him.
Yeah. And one of the girls that plays Laurie Strode's girlfriends is played by the same girl who's the star of the film Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones. She's the girl, the blonde girl that has sex and then gets killed, who has the boyfriend that gets put up against the wall. And
Yes.
Right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
She said, "Go get me a beer." And he went and got her a beer.
And
it was the last beer.
Yep, that was the last beer
he drank, baby.
He ever had.
She had a smoke and an orgasm, and that was it.
I think a lot of the... Do you think the scares in the film work? Do you think they still hold up?
I do, because I think at the time, I think just it was new. I mean, nobody kind of knew. Like if you release that film today, I think it's a dud. Just simply because of how the horror genre has changed over time. Yep. I mean, look at some of the. Look at Hostel. I mean, that movie.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, you need to take a look at Hostel, or the maybe some of the newer Texas Chainsaw Massacres, or the Terrifiers. I mean, those are gruesome, bloody, just straight cash homey movies. I mean, today you didn't have a lot of that, but what you had was suspense. You had the boogeyman. You couldn't kill him, and some of those scenarios were real.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't ever get rid of the guy that was hunting you.
One thing that did help that film, because I did watch a behind-the-scenes documentary on the film years ago. Originally, when they test screened it, the folks didn't really care for it, but that's because they didn't have something at first. But John Carpenter, who was the director of this great film, he worked on a little thing called the score. Okay. And when they played it again with the score, they were scared in the first few seconds because that score is so good.
Yes.
I mean, because that's how I was introduced to it. I didn't see the movies when I was a kid. I heard that score.
Yep.
Never wanted to do it again.
And when you hear it now, you know what it is.
Oh,
Instantly.
Oh, yeah.
So I love the movie. I thought it was great.
Yep. Love the score.
And the only thing, when I just looking at this genre or looking at this series of movies, the only one I didn't like, obviously, was 3, The Season of the Witch. Had nothing to do with the program. Don't know why they called it Halloween. Don't know anything about it. But as far as this goes, I mean, I loved it. I could watch it all day, every day.
I think the film still holds up great, and it proves that all you need is a nice, simple story,
right,
and good scares. You don't really to me, you don't really need a lot of blood. You just
No.
need suspense.
Something
Like,
that people catches people's attention, or something that people are drawn to.
Yep.
Michael Myers is the perfect character.
Yeah, he can scare you just by looking at you.
Right.
Like the scene during the big fight scene, when during the scene when she tells the kids to go next door, and she and the kid sees him, and then she turns and he's right there, like a few feet behind him.
Right.
That was great. But yeah, the film worked, and of course, the ending, which threw me for a loop.
When they plug him 6 times.
Well, yeah, when he shoots him, he falls down. But then that's not what gets me. When he first looks down, he's there, but then he goes and he comes back. He's gone. He's completely gone. Like, oh, I hope we don't get sued for that.
Right. Yeah, no, he was out, man. He was.
Yeah.
And what did he say? What did Jamie say? Was that the boogeyman?
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, it was. And then And then we have the music playing behind us, and
Please do not sue us.
I know. Yeah,
but
no.
you know what? But yeah, the film again, it's a great one, and I like to score films on from a 0 to a 4. I never cared for that 5-star thing. It was too much for me. I like 4. And as far as slasher films go, is it a little dated? Well, the way a lot of the kids, a lot of her friends, a lot of the dialogue they have, like, girl, hello, like, no, that sucks. But the majority, awesome. And I give this one the big 4.
I'm with you, brother.
4 stars,
Anything Michael
man.
Myers, aside from maybe a few cheesy sequels, gonna get it 4. Keep killing, Michael. Keep slashing. Don't let them get you down, brother. Keep coming back. Let's do that. What do they do? What do they do? The prequels? Let's start some stuff and let's keep them alive.
We've already done that. But you know what, guys? That is it for Movie Mania. I am your host, Philip. This has been Shay, and I'll be back with more shows in the future. And this guy, he might be back in the future.
I think you can convince me.
Damn straight.
Thanks, fellas.
Have fun, guys. Do the dunk.
Dunk! March Madness!